What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be doing a brake upgrade on the Toyota 86. This is the perfect upgrade if you're starting to do more aggressive driving on the weekends or if you're starting to take your car to the track. You don't need to go and spend $2.5 grand on a big brake kit. All you need is some good quality slotted rotors paired with a decent pair of brake pads. I got all this stuff from my local clutch and brake specialist, Lurdale Brake and Clutch. I definitely recommend going to a local store instead of going to like a big place, just because they have a lot more knowledgeable, and also it just helps to support a local business. So as you can see, I've gone with the DBA slotted rotors and also DBA Street Performance brake pads. So the brake pads come in a Street Performance, Extreme Performance and a Race Performance. So these were like pretty good budget for what I was wanting for this car, and the DBA slotted rotors, super good quality. DBA is an Australian company and they're sold worldwide. They're like super well known. So you know you're getting like really good quality. Also got these for my Hilux as well, which I'll be doing a brake upgrade on that. So it's $226 for both rotors, and then it was $110 for the brake pads. So we'll take the tyre off, obviously. Then we'll start looking at disconnecting the caliper, taking the brake pads out. Then we'll do the rotor. Hopefully, I mean, it shouldn't be a very hard job. So we'll get into it. So we're going to start off by undoing these two 14mm bolts, and then that will allow this caliper to come off, and then we'll be able to get the brake pads out, and then we'll go from there. We'll also be disconnecting this bolt so we can get the brake line free. If this reaches the ground, that'll be fine, but if this is hanging at all, we'll have to cable tie it up to somewhere to make sure that you're not hanging off the brake line, putting pressure on your brake line fittings. And it reaches the ground. So as you can see, there's no tension on that brake line. Definitely, it takes 2 seconds to cable tie these up when you're doing it off a hoist. So just do it properly. Now we can take our brake pads off. It's just held on a bit tight by this little pin. Pull that out. Your stock. I'm gonna do this one-handed. Now that the brake pads are off, we'll start looking at doing the caliper cradle, which has these two 17mm bolts at the back. Once we get them off, we can start looking at getting this rotor off. There we have it. So once that's off, this should just pull off, but unless your car's brand new, that's not going to happen. It's just going to be, it's going to be on there. It's going to be on there good and hard. So a little trick they have is, there's these two holes here that are threaded. You can put a 10mm bolt in there, which happens to be the same as the one you pull off the back of the cradle. And what you do is you just tighten it down ever so much on each side, and it'll lift the rotor off and stop it from sticking. So we'll give that a go now. Also, because you've got no brake now, it's just going to spin. So I'm choosing to use a gun because it'll do it quicker and stop it from spinning, hopefully. Bang! There we have it. So that actually worked really well. Just had the two, I actually have these lying around, these like 10mm thread bolts, and they're like a 13mm head. And yeah, just tighten them up one way or another, and then it just pulled off. That works super well. We're just gonna do the reverse of what we just did. Hopefully, it all goes to plan. You also want to clean your rotors with some brake cleaner, just because they, I don't know, apparently they machine them with like some oil in the shop, and it just helps to hit them with a bit of brake cleaner. The brake pad kit also came with these replacements. Probably like not 100% necessary, but they were there, so I did it. Brake pads, they come in a set. One has this hook on it, which on the stock ones, both of them had it. And one doesn't have it, so I don't know. I'll stick this one at the back. And then we'll stick this one at the front. Squeeze it in there. If you're having trouble with this rotor, like moving around, you can put a couple like lug nuts on here just to keep it sturdy, but I'm not having any trouble with that. It seems to be all good. Just needs to be tightened down. When you go to put the caliper back on and the pots have come out and you can't get it back on, you can put one of the old brake pads on it and hit it with a clamp, or you can use a long flathead screwdriver, but I've done it this way, and that'll get them to reseat. Now we can look at putting this caliper back on. Now we just got to tighten all this stuff down, put that new brake line back on. I did buy aftermarket braided brake lines. Turns out the Lillardale brake and clutch, they actually custom make brake lines for you. The reason I haven't put the braided brake lines on yet, I'm doing a lock kit, which is going to be 50mm past center from what the knuckle is now, and I'm thinking that maybe if I put them on, they're not going to be long enough, so I'm going to wait till I do the lock kit, and if they're not long enough, I'm just going to get new ones made up because they can custom make them longer. And it was only 70 bucks per brake line, so cheaper than if you buy them online. So definitely look into going down to your local brake and clutch place and getting them to make you up some braided brake lines. And there we have it. DBA T2 slotted rotors with a DBA Street Performance brake pad. That is quality. I was just about to throw out this box and I was looking at this. It says, do not wipe or spray the painted area with cleaner as it will remove the paint. So that's something to keep in mind.